Inspiration Nation. Hello, Lee Kemp here for another week on the podcast with Jose Noya. Ryan Boniface is absent, tied up doing a few things at the moment. In fact, he's doing a quiz tonight, but good luck to him in that quiz. I'm sure he'll do superb. And I will soldier on with Jose on the podcast. I apologise to everybody for that. If you are following Jose on TikTok, just Jose Noya-Inspiration Nation, stick it in your Google machine to follow him on TikTok and YouTube. You'll get notified when you're going live. You'd have seen us talking before the podcast. We're on our favourite subject of AI. We're having a little play with some of the new video technology. Amazing stuff. Get involved in the conversation over there. It's a long time. Jose, how are you? I've not even asked. I just went full pelt podcast mode there.
It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. It's all good. I'm very, very well. I'm just welcoming people to the TikTok and welcome Clara. Clara's had to go, but we've got Cheese Grater in the house. It's a very regular in the show, or regular to my lives as well. So Cheese Grater, thanks very much. Let's Cheese Grater. Can you set a like goal for the podcast? So how long on the podcast? Can you set a like goal? How many likes do you think we'll get by the end of the podcast? How long are we here? 20 minutes? About 20 minutes in, Lee. We usually run for, don't we?
We do, give or take.
Okay, let's set a like goal. But yeah, we're at 416. Cheese Grater, how many likes do you think we get in 20 minutes? Let's pop it on the live. But but carry on. Are you doing the quote this week?
The what now?
Are you doing the quote this week? I think it's your turn this week, isn't it?
I don't know. What's this quote business of which you talk?
The quote business we do every week, Lee. You know, just to let you know.
Oh, okay. On the podcast, yeah. Yes.
The podcast. So you know the podcast. You know that. Yeah, that little thing there.
Dive into my favourite subject in the world. What's my favourite subject, Jose?
What's your favourite subject? Wrestling.
It is. Well done. I didn't know if you were going to get it or not. It is. So there is a wrestler.
I'll get that.
You may have heard of him. You may not have heard of him. He's called Cody Rhodes. He's currently the most popular wrestler there is. He's pretty much the modern day Hulk Hogan. He's a champion. Everyone loves him. And his theme tune, which is absolutely awesome, is called My Kingdom. And in it has a line that says, I am my kingdom. And I love that line. I think it's brilliant. So my quote is from Cody Rhodes' theme tune of My Kingdom. And it is, I am my kingdom. And I started looking at this last week when I thought, I wasn't sure whether you or me were doing the quote. And I looked into it and I asked some AI for some of the themes and stuff. And actually what it came back with was kind of what I think about that line. I wanted to talk about it in the first place. So to give you a little bit of a story, Cody Rhodes started wrestling in the late noughties. His dad, Dusty Rhodes, was one of the most famous wrestlers in the 80s. Huge influence in the business, loads and loads of stuff. His older brother also wrestles and was wrestling longer, and then Cody started wrestling in, I say, the noughties, or certainly got to prominence then. And he kind of languished. He was an okay, what you call mid-card sort of guy, around the middle, wasn't particularly going anywhere. Good, great wrestler, you could see the talent there, but he was just kind of languishing in the mid-card. He got given a terrible gimmick in the 20 teens, which ultimately he ended up deciding to leave WWE. And WWE is a show for those who don't need it. It's like Coca-Cola or McDonald's with their respective injuries. That's where you are. And at this time, there's no real alternatives to go to. There's like WWE, a few smaller companies, and a load of what you call independents, but there was nowhere where it's on a global stage, let alone a national stage in America, and you make that sort of money. Now, don't get me wrong, if you hustled, you could make good money on what they call the independent circuit, but you're kind of out by yourself, self-businessman, booking yourself everywhere, and he decided to give it a go. So he left, I'm going to carve my own path, and he went out there. And actually, he became basically the king of the indies. Built up this big reputation for himself out there on the independent circuit. Some of the companies he's working for getting good reputations. And somebody, a wrestling journalist, basically challenged him and said, do you think Ring of Honor, which is one of these smaller companies, could put 10,000 people in an arena? And he's like, yeah, we could put 10,000 people in an arena. So he started promoting the show. Some other big top independent names at the time. And they did it. They filmed first 10,000 seat show that's not WWE since like the mid-90s or something. Absolutely huge achievement.
Wow.
Put this together. Rumbling started that actually this must be off into its own company, which is like be a challenger brand to WWE. That was a bit of a struggle to watch at the time, if I'm honest. So he secured funding from a man called Tony Khan, who also happens to own Fulham FC. which is probably the UK link for him. And
Wow,
they
okay.
were in a little group called The Elite, and they started a company called All Elite Wrestling. And they got off with a big bang. They had this huge load of goodwill behind them. Yes, here's an alternative. Let's get something really good for the fans, a bit more grown-up, orientated product. And for a few years, they made a huge impact, really huge impact. And they were doing really, really well. It's kind of petered off now because WWE responded and they're like in the stratosphere at the moment. I'm a big fan of both companies I put out there. There's a lot of tribalism on the internet. I don't lean either way. Love them both. Watch them all. I'm just a fan of wrestling. But Cody Rhodes, who effectively started this company, AEW, Tony Khan effectively owns it, and then a number of the wrestlers who started it were like EV executive vice presidents. But effectively, Cody's momentum started this company, and to the shock of everyone, he went back to WWE when his contract expired at AEW.
Wow.
And this from middle of the road guy went out, carved his own path on the independent scene, created this gimmick for himself, and he went from being what was ultimately in the end a cartoony gimmick to this very serious gimmick. You know, I'm a great wrestler. He comes out, he gives really passionate promos, he dresses to the nines, suited and booted, everything like that. You know, very top level character. Had this theme tune that I talk about, My Kingdom, that was out there. His gimmick and everything, and he came back into WWE, and he was just him. He was that gimmick, the suits, the attitude, the music, everything. And spent a couple of years, they did really well storyline with him, where it's about him chasing the title, almost getting it, not quite getting it, until the point last year when he got it. And it's just been, he's a puzzle piece on why they're so popular, why they've got this Netflix deal, all this stuff like that. But the song My Kingdom is about that journey. So he's gone out and he's created his kingdom, and the whole thing with the song is kind of, it's that self-worth. His kingdom is himself. That's the line, I am my kingdom, because his self-worth, what he's built, he bet on himself and he did it, and he's built this thing around himself, taking chances on himself. You know, his self-value comes from what he's doing and how he feels about it, not all those external things. And actually, since he's been doing that, he's just flying and reached all the goals he never had before. And I just, the whole story's great if you're a fan of it, but I think the music, and when you listen to the lyrics and when you listen to that line, and his story will be a movie in 10 years' time, I've got no doubt about it. And it's this whole self-belief, which I think is the core of the theme. That's why it is, that's his kingdom, that's what it is. It's this absolute belief in himself and what he's built. And I just, yeah, I really like that lyric. It really speaks to me, because we've talked about this on some recently, but for me, that inner praise, inner sense of fulfillment or achievement or whatever it is, but not looking externally, just looking in, shutting out all the noise, focusing on what you want to do and being the best at it, I just think is a great mentality. And that one line for me, I am my kingdom, sums it all up.
Yeah, I really like that.
Over to you, and after really that very long intro to my quote.
Yeah, I love that, and I want to come back. I've got a question for you. Do you have a light goal? Not yet, Frizzle. Thanks for coming. Thank you. Appreciate you coming. No, we haven't got a light goal yet. I was trying to get Cheese Grater to set one. So thank you. Oh yeah, Sam said Jose on my FYP. Woohoo! Thank you. Appreciate that. Sam, thank you for that. Brilliant. Yeah. So we haven't, Frizzle. So we want to set a live goal. That'd be great. A light goal. So Cheese Grater, just watch what Frizzle does and do a copy of that. Sam, thank you for following. Appreciate that. Lee, on your quote, "I am my kingdom."
Yes.
What? How have you used it in your own way? Can you give me an example of how it's worked for you? How you use it, I suppose.
How I use it? That's a good question. I think it's so at the moment I think I'm in that space. You know, work-wise, hobby-wise, bits I'm doing outside, how I'm living my life is all. I say it's for me. It's for me and my family and the connections and everything like that. But it's not about, as it would be when you're younger, being showy with, you know, cars or clothes or job titles or any. Not that I necessarily did those things, but there's a time when you aspire to that, and that's absolutely not it. And I think it's when I stop and I listen to the song and I see what he's doing, I think it's a self-validation thing. I see a thing where I'm like, in my way, I'm on that bit of my journey where I feel like I'm really doing well in a lot of really good places against what are my own personal goals. but they're my own. They're not anyone else's. They're just mine. They're inward, and I'm just doing it. I'm working on it. I'm proud of what I'm doing, and I feel like in some way I've had some steps of that same journey where I've just had to really bet on myself and keep pushing ahead. So for me, I don't think I've even literally said it in my head to myself where I'm like, I am my kingdom. This is me. This is what I'm doing. I'm building this thing that only makes sense to me, but I love it and I'm in it. And it's just really kind of affirmation sort of thing, maybe is a way to put it.
I like that as a lot. That's why I asked, because it's when we have these quotes, I think it's how it inspires you, right? For me, it's like Rocky and all that sort of stuff. And so I use the Rocky theme music every morning. It's on. Like, okay, so hey Alexa, can you play the Rocky story? So it plays the Rocky story music. So it's lovely. Yeah. And I like this as well. So for me, if we're saying thank you for that Frizzle 3K, yeah, come on, let's go. Tap them screens. If we're saying tap them screens, I love that. Let's pin that. Oh, I love that. Tap them screens, people. I love that. That's brilliant, Frizzle. Get those people motivated. I love it. I'm in the same place, Lee. I am my kingdom. I want to create a positive space on social media through my TikTok. I talk to my live community every day about this, and that spreading kindness and being the change you want to be in the world. I know there's another quote, but I'm on that path. So, you know, and the big ambition is to go out live on stage, and you're playing around with Sora today and thinking, oh, that looks great. You know, just got to add you, Ryan, and the Tesla bot there, right? Right on stage, and just like sitting on a bunch of sofas talking to a massive audience. But now, if I'm happy right now, because as I said, Lee, I am my kingdom. I'm really into my coaching. I'm coaching people outside work, coaching people inside work, want to help people, inspire people here on the podcast and on my lives every day, go for my walk. I'm living and breathing that, which I think I was designed to do. I can see the smile on
your face as you say this. I love that.
I'm literally living, and I apply it to my tennis. So I'm playing tennis at the minute. I said to Lee that I won my first singles match. I was telling my community about the singles match. I won my first game. I've been practicing 4 years. But the funny thing was, when I was playing my match on Monday night, there's this guy who joined the club. Oh, I need to do this. I joined the club. I need to reverse that camera. Sorry. I was playing a guy who had been there for a year. So I noticed that journey, and I won, but I recognised he really loved it. I enjoyed the game, and that reminded me of my year one playing tennis, getting back into it, and really, you know, being enthusiastic. I still am enthusiastic, but recognising that I had a lot to improve on. Right, like he's got a lot to improve to get to that next level, and I can see my improvement because of the way I played against him. Right, and that's how I got played against when I was learning, and I'm still learning forever. So going back to the way in my kingdom, I apply all the learnings from just wanting to be a better, helping people, having a good time, like helping this guy out, playing this guy, that I'm just doing everything that I, want to do. I'm not saying I'm happy all the time. I mean, it's just not human condition. There's ups and downs, but generally, I'm not gonna say, hey, everything's great and fine. It's not, there's always challenges going on, but generally, I mean, I think I've just found who I am. Like, this is me, and I'm not apologetic for it. So I am a kingdom. I love that. This is just me. Whatever you see, Lee will attest to it. Whatever you see right now is what I am like. Like, I'm just like this all the time. I'm not. There's maybe slightly different personas that turn up a little bit depending on what environment, but a lot of the time, I'm not going to be apologetic for who I am. And just, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, then you don't have to be here, right? It's fine.
Yes.
That's what I say in my life, right?
I love the passion that invoked in what you said there.
Go on.
I'm just saying, I love the just as you talk about that, there's a smile on your face. You're talking about yourself and what you're doing, and I really like that.
Yeah, it goes back to your saying, right? I am a kingdom, and I want everyone on this podcast to do that. So I want everybody to think about this, what Lee said. And that's why I asked Lee about how have you applied it. I want you to take this I am my kingdom quote, Frizzle, and I just want to give a shout out to Frizzle, actually, because Frizzle, I want Frizzle and people who are on this podcast listening to apply that. How are you going to use it? But I want to just get a shout out to Frizzle, because Frizzle in our lives set a goal. So Frizzle was drinking 5 to 6 monsters a day.
Yes, you said about this last week. Yes. How's it going?
Right. So Frizzle, well, put it on the chat. I want you to put it on the chat. How are you getting on? Had a live this morning, down from 6 to 1.5
That
a day.
is fantastic. Well done.
Isn't that amazing?
Great. That is, focusing on a goal and making it happen. That is fantastic.
Yeah. Frizzle decided to do it though.
Very
Frizzle
pleased
took
with
it
that.
on. Frizzle took it on. I said, what do you want to do? And absolutely doing it, crushing it, and going out for walks with Carly, her dog, spreading kindness and things like that. So I'm Frizzle. I'm just. Frizzle saying, I don't know if you can see. I don't know if you're on TikTok, but
not at the moment.
Frizzle just said,
on my phone.
Okay, good. Okay, it's Frizzle says I went nearly cold turkey. Like Frizzle tried to go cold turkey, didn't, but you fell off the wagon, but you went back on it again.
We said
that's the whole point, right?
That's not the tipping point to not go back. Just get back on again.
Exactly.
You did. That's fantastic. Yeah. Very proud of you for that.
There you go. Got a shout out there, Frizzle from Lee. That's worth a lot. That. So it's fantastic, right? So, but the I Am a King goes back to that. We all got these things we're working on, whether it's giving up monsters, whether it's want to do our coaching. All these small steps add up to the life that we have. And I saw this thing on social about people doing social media posts to encourage people and finding their voice. Well, to do that, you have to do the thing. Like if you want to find yourself, you've got to do the thing you love to find yourself. Start doing those things, and you discover more about yourself. Which again is, I think, goes back to your quote of "I am my kingdom." Anyway, I'm done then. Now on that, that's really good. I really enjoyed that. But again, I want people to take stuff away from this and actually apply it. Not just listen to this, but apply it. How are you going to apply it? By listening to this podcast or watching this podcast. Over to you, Lee. What are your thoughts on any of
that? Yeah, I think that's what I say. This, it means a lot to me. It helps inspire me. So if we can get any views from people on that, it's fantastic. And it's nice for me to share that with you, because it's something that kind of anchors me at the moment, to see how well you responded on that as well. I was really pleased with that. So in a, just a real feel good, positive inspiration way, that for me, I love, because I'm a nerd for it. I love the story of it and I love the song in it, but it's real. It happened to someone, and that inspires me, and hopefully that passes on the inspiration to other people as well.
There's no hoping, Lee. It will. There's no hoping about it. It's when you. I think that's the thing. Also, I just wanted to. I don't know how much time we got left, Lee. So something I want to just point out.
3 minutes.
Right.
Go for it.
So what's his guy's name again?
Cody Rhodes.
Right. Anybody that you look up to, look at their story, because there's always a story of this guy. Set his own thing up, went on his own, struggled, and now you see the success. But that success, there was a struggle, right? Everybody you see, it's the iceberg effect, right? You just see the top, and nobody looks at, they're nobody else. They're not. There's a lot of work that goes into that. I just wanted to let you know that all these inspiring stories, there's always a struggle going on. And that's how you create a community, through the struggle. Be proud of yourself and build confidence and believe in yourself. But you do it by doing the hard thing, right? So I just wanted to say that, Lee. There you go.
Fantastic.
That's my takeaway, by the way.
That was a good discussion.
And we've also hit the 3K likes goal, by the way. There you go. So take that away with you on TikTok. You've achieved. Well done. Celebrate that. Fantastic.
Superb stuff. Right.
Well done, Frizzle. Brilliant.
For me,
well done.
Jose, my takeaway, I am my kingdom. That's all I've got for you.
No, that's great. I think simplicity is great. So I love it. This has been a good one. Thanks, Lee. I love this. So last thing is, how are you going to apply it? What step you're going to take? If you're listening or watching to this, don't just listen to this and do nothing. Don't just watch it and do nothing. What are you going to do? Let us know.
Absolutely. Everyone, we thank you for listening, joining in. Jose Noya, Inspiration Nation. Stick it in your Google machine. You can get involved in what's going on. And we will be back again next week. I'll count us down. 3, 2, 1. Inspiration Nation.
Inspiration Nation.
Catch you guys
later. We've gone. We ended. Thank you for joining. Thanks, Frizz, for joining. I hope you didn't. Oh, God, what have I done there? I hope you didn't. Oh, I just went frozen. I hope you didn't mind me sharing your story